Welcome to the channel. It's me, Vandal. I hope you have an excellent day. Today, I found some of the weirdest TikToks I could find on the internet. So sit back, relax, grab something to drink, and let's get started.
It has to be fake. There's no way.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh!
Just another reason to not walk barefoot on the beach.
What is it?
Run, tell me!
What are you talking about?
Determine what states would be, quote, safe from an alien invasion. Number 1, Virginia. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Massachusetts. Number 4, New York. Number 5, Minnesota. Number 6, Florida. I'm so glad we're in the top 10 because honestly, I spent my nights wondering.
Don't you love how they normalize the alien invasions now? So when it does happen, it'll just be like another day. They're preparing us year after year for this.
She looks just like a dream. She looks just like a dream. Girl, you're breathtaking.
Barulho é esse? Barulho. Oxi. O céu! Que é isso, velho?
I don't know about y'all, but I'm starting to think of this quote a lot differently.
Your vampire ball is over. Russian president to Western elites, called Golden Billion, has grown accustomed to being able to fill their bellies with human flesh and their pockets with money, as they have been parasitizing other peoples in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. But they must.
I'm gonna throw up. Papa.
Right up and look in that window.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
In a house.
That place
What?
sucks.
This is the eerie moment terrified Russians shoot at mysterious UFO helicopter darting over Moscow. The ominous drone was blasted by paranoid Russian air defenses as they suffered a separate drone strike early on Thursday. Sinister footage shows a strange rotating object spinning over the Moscow region. It has a red center and is surrounded by a spinning white circular shell. Some suspected the red and white spinning aircraft was one of Ukraine's new RZ-500 helicopter drones. However, the RZ-500 has a maximum range of 186 miles, which is not far enough to reach Moscow. What do you think the strange device is?
Do you think that there's a war going on between aliens and our planet right now? There's way too much going on right now with us seeing drones, UAPs, and now that.
Watch the terrifying moment a driver plunged a staggering 40-foot head-first off an unfinished bridge after following Google Maps on his phone. CCTV footage shows the BMW flying over the bridge, slamming bumper first onto the pavement and nearly flipping into oncoming cars. The shocking crash happened in Indonesia when a 61-year-old man took the wrong turn while following Google Maps and flew through a gap in the concrete barriers. Medics arrived at the scene and both the driver and his passenger passenger miraculously survived the crash. The driver told reporters, "The road suddenly became dark and there were no other cars. Then I realized there was a problem when the car started falling and crashed on the ground. My friend said she's not getting in the car with me again."
I'm talking to people at the moment, and this is creepy, but people at the moment who are contacting me, and I've had 3 do it now from all over the world, who say they've felt an urge to contact me, and they tell me that they've communicated with a blue being that has imbued them and downloaded them with information. And in one case, the person developed an ability to instantaneously understand physics equations, highly complex mathematics. And I've seen them do it.
What in the hell is that? Did you see that? Dude, oh my god! Oh my god, it just went straight to the water. It goes left. Oh my god. It goes left. Hold on. Where'd it go? I still see glowing in the water. It's going left. I've heard. What in the hell is that? You see that? Dude, oh my god! Oh my god!
Isn't this amazing? I've been here for 2 hours playing with water and asking questions, and I'm still confused. That's water pearl. There's a basin at the bottom. It pumps water up through hoses at the back, nozzles at the top, create these pearls of water. A specified light system perfectly calibrated with the motion of the water to create these pearls that are floating, now suspended, now moving down. You see that? That's real. Those shadows are real. My hand is on the other side of those shadows. Look at that. Apparently the creator got the idea from watering his garden. So it went from watering his garden to me having an absolute existential crisis right now. I can just sit here all day, which I have been, playing with water. If you look at my hand, you can see this. You can't see anything between each pearl of water in my hand. The team here at Water Pearl in Tokyo, Japan is creating magic for the future. Now, excuse me while I continue to play with my water.
I'll imagine it's still moving at normal speed. It's an illusion to make it look like that. I guess that's what he's trying to say. But regardless, it's mind blowing. I can see why he's sitting there playing with it for hours.
Cat Williams, you betrayed us. Remember, it all started when you was exposing the industry on the Shay Show, and when you was doing comedy, always exposing the truth. But what I want to know is, what is this? Huh? Now you went from exposing the industry to working with the industry? I'm confused. This was for GQ. What is this, bro? And I know what that chain means. People are saying that Cat Williams is a warlock. But to be honest with you, I don't believe that at all. Out of all the outfits you could have wore, why this one? Why this one? What's up with that hat? What is going on here, Cat? I thought you was on our side. I thought you was here to wake people up. But it seems like you went back to sleep. Now, I got no problems with Cat Williams. I'm not here to discredit him or anything. He's a funny person. He's a great comedian. But I don't like when people switch sides without ordering an extra side of fries. What I want to know is, why would the industry want to work with somebody exposing the industry? Something's going on here, guys. People are saying that he's a controlled opposition. People are saying that. I didn't say nothing. But I just think that he's just playing his position. Shh! Shut up! This video is for entertainment purposes only. I like Cat Williams. I'm just trying to understand, why did he switch up on us so fast? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm out of here.
Maybe it really is just that simple. He knew people would talk about it, so he did it. Could be that simple. Maybe he do work for somebody, or it's just what I just said, that he just want clicks, views, etc. Like most people. This bear is really mad, or it has rabies, I guess. I've never seen a bear this aggressive before, ever. Hard to tell what's real nowadays, considering AI.
What you got?
Oh, this is literally shining in my bedroom window. Am I the only one that see this? Yo, am I the only one that see this? I just finished praying and I look out my window and this is what I see. I've never seen it like this before. This is nutty. Y'all look at that. This is great. Do y'all see what I see?
And like the whole neighborhood could be blessed and maybe her prayers will be answered.
Y'all seen the video of the lady who found that there's a secret house under her house in her basement? And that's not even the catch. The catch is, since she's moved in, she's been smelling like something rotten in her house. And she's been cleaning, fabulosoing, putting stuff down the drain, everything trying to get the smell out. Nothing was working. So then she got some plumbers in and the plumbers found like a secret entrance behind two walls. Like the wall was set up so you couldn't go through it. And they found out there's a whole house in her basement under her house. And what's even crazier, they found human remains in that secret house. Windows boarded up, everything. And the landlord, when she spoke to the landlord saying, oh, I have no idea. What do you mean you have no idea that was there? So now it's being investigated as a crime scene because when she went in there, what she saw, she was like, nah, this doesn't look like it was natural. Like she's saying she's seen claw marks and all of that on the carpet and stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm moving out. I'm moving out.
And this isn't the first time we've seen something like this on the channel. It seemed pretty common on TikTok. It could be that maybe the landlord really didn't know. If that happened a long time ago, and it makes you wonder what other houses, civilizations, tunnels, or anything like that could be beneath us right now as we speak and we just don't know about.
Telling me a whole tech executive, his wife, his 3 kids, all unalived in this helicopter because the pilot decided to take off and didn't have any fuel. They said the pilot said that they were running out of fuel. Come on now. How did that even happen? Something's not adding up. The guy who was unalived on this helicopter wasn't just a random guy, y'all. His name was Agustin Escobar. He was the CEO of Siemens Spain. That's a major international tech company. It's crazy. They had just landed in New York from Barcelona that morning, and later on in the day was unalived from a helicopter. Out of fuel my ass. How do you fly a whole tourist helicopter over the Hudson River and not know that you were out of fuel? Make it make sense, y'all. Please, make it make sense. They didn't have no emergency route. They didn't have no emergency landing. They don't check shit like that before they even take off. Now, here's the kicker. The people who were eyewitness that said they seen the whole thing said that the helicopter just broke into pieces in mid-air, y'all. They said they heard like a sonic boom. That don't sound like a crash to me. That sound like something hit it or something malfunctioned. Like, how did that even happen? Now, I know helicopters, planes, anything can malfunction, but not out the random. That's why you got routine inspections. So if this thing was at the point of just crumbling like that in midair, how was it even eligible to take off? How was it even eligible for people to get on that jump? So that's not making sense to me, y'all. I'm not saying it's a setup. I'm just saying powerful people seem to disappear or get caught up in situations like this a lot. The history goes deep. Somebody knows something, or I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. This shit crazy.
It's pretty obvious that it probably was a setup. Hopefully that wasn't the case, and hopefully it was just a random coincidence. You know, anything about this channel and the videos I feature is rarely a coincidence. I think it was like a setup personally, but because it just don't make sense. How can you be a CEO? You're worth millions, billions of dollars, and the pilot you have didn't check for fuel. I don't know. Me personally, if I was a CEO, I was that rich, I probably would have private everything. So the person would be private. I would have already vetted him. I would have known him already. But messing around with stuff like this, you're going to have a bunch of CEOs going to start having a bunch of bodyguards with them now, like how streamers and everybody else, the celebrities be when they go out in public.
Are they using Indeed to traffic people? Indeed, the app that you're supposed to be using to look for a job, people are literally coming up missing. So I came across this story here regarding some situations that's going on in Florida. I don't know if it's happening in other cities. I have never heard of this, where people are looking for jobs, going to these places where they think the interview is at and coming up missing. Somebody pull the plug on CERN. Like, pull the plug, because there are definitely some dark, evil entities that are among us. To play with a person at their most vulnerable time, when they are looking for a job, never mind the fact that people have been looking for jobs, ain't been having no luck. People have already been saying that Indeed ain't worth 2 dead flies smashed. Now they gotta worry about the fact that when they actually get a call back, get dressed up and go, and thinking that they about to get a job to provide for themselves, only for them to possibly get snatched up. If you got a job right now, stop complaining about it, okay? Be grateful, be thankful, because it is definitely something really, really nasty going on out here. There's always been danger going on in the country. But you a motherfucking lie if you don't tell me that a lot of this shit ain't really start getting worse over the last 4 or 5 years. And it's a damn shame that American citizens who may be needing assistance with getting a job and using a trusted site to find one can't even trust the damn site no more. Unplug CERN, unplug Indeed, unplug all of this shit. Matter of fact, just start the whole world over. Because at this point, we are sliding down a razor blade and landing in an alcohol river.
Indeed. I mean, if anybody ever actually got a job on Indeed, I know I haven't like that. Maybe one ever since it came out. And some people be so desperate and be so naive when it comes to interviews. They see it to be like 7 p.m. and then they'll go to the interview. And something like that could happen. I'm assuming that's how that went down. But I really wish we would go back to the older ways, like when I was getting out of high school, where you kind of would just go to the business, talk to the manager, and it was so much easier to get a job. Now with the internet, it's really hard. Now with AI, you have to use AI to go past the AI system, to go past the AI interview, to get a real interview. And then you got to go through 4 interviews. I remember when I was in IT, I had to go through online tests, another personality test, then another on the phone test about what I really know about IT, then the in-person interview, but it ain't just one person. It'd be the CEO, CFO, CTO, and then after all that, which was 3 hours, by the way, I had to go around and meet all the staff, like the big people like HR, to see if I was a good fit. I got the job, but I mean, like, just imagine if I didn't. And people go through that all the time. So, man, job hunting is crazy right now. Like, I feel like it's only going to get worse. They need to figure something out, but they really need to be a more trusted site than Indeed.
Cult of the Black Cube, better known as the Saturn Death Cult. The global elite worships the dark side of the planet Saturn and uses occult symbols in modern institutions, and it's been going on since creation. Basically started with the fallen angels, and it all revolves around the god Saturn. But this god Saturn is also the god Baal, the god Molech,
Oh gosh.
and is prevalent in basically every ancient and modern satanic.
Saturn is Satan.
They think it translates from Satan, the astrology Capricorn, which is the primary thing in that is Saturn. which is a goat. The black cube, I'm like, where's the black cube come into this? There's like this dark spot on the top of Saturn that is in the shape of a hexagon. And if you take the hexagon and you make it a 3-dimensional, it makes a cube. What was crazy is that if you go to basically any major financial district, they all have a monument of a black cube.
No way.
They believe that worship of it is that they're able to tap into this realm or this deity to be able to enslave the masses.
Oh my god, oh my god, look you guys.
I'll have to look deep into the volcanoes. I wasn't aware it was 4 being that are active right now, let alone erupting. Let me know in the comments if that's true or not. As far as the other video, the black cube, I could see Saturn being a part of that. Because Jupiter, if I'm not mistaken, is about acquiring wealth and health and things like that, I think. Definitely for wealth, if I'm not mistaken. But Jupiter, I thought was like discipline. I guess it would be controlling masses, because it is like a discipline controlled planet when it comes to, at least from what I know of astrology and stuff. I'm no expert of it. I think that goes very far back. And it is very weird that a lot of financial police have that. And they do control the masses, don't they? They give us enough money for us to barely survive, but not so little that we all would band together, go to DC or whatever, and start some stuff, if you know what I mean. They give you just enough. It's like, imagine you being in water and you're like, it's like right here. For most people, obviously some people it's all the way up here. But for the average middle class person, it's like right just enough for you not to get angry enough. Because once the food becomes a problem, you know anything about history, that's when the people at the top start to, once food becomes a problem for the common person.
I had a dream so real, it didn't feel like it was yours, like it was almost planted there. Well, some say that's exactly how it starts. You see, there's a theory whispered in late night forums, one that even some former intelligence agents talk about off the record. Not about abductions, not experiments, but something stranger. They're called the Watchers. They don't take you, they don't speak, they don't even make contact. They observe in silence for years, decades even sometimes. You don't notice them until the patterns start to show. People report dreams that repeat, but always slightly different. They wake up in their own bed, but the mirror is different. Their room is the same, but something is off. Allegedly, one of the oldest texts to mention the Watchers is a Sumerian scroll locked away in a private collection. It describes a symbol that was carved into 3 known abduction sites. That's what we'll explore in part 2. If you've had a dream that didn't feel like it was yours, you're not alone. Comment below, let's compare notes, and follow, because this rabbit hole, it's just opening up. What if I told you the Watchers weren't just a modern phenomenon? Their existence goes back thousands of years. And the proof? It's hidden in our oldest texts. In the Book of Enoch, they were called the Watchers, angels sent to observe humanity, but they defied their orders, descending to earth and creating something unnatural. The Nephilim, hybrid beings born from their corruption. But what if the Watchers weren't actually angels? What if they were something else? Throughout history, that triangular symbol has reappeared. Ancient Sumerians worshipped the Anunnaki, gods who supposedly descended from the stars. Some say they were the original Watchers. And that symbol? It's been found etched into stone tablets dating back over 5,000 years. But it doesn't end there. In 1965, a mysterious object crashes in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. Witnesses described hieroglyph-like symbols carved into its metallic surface, symbols that resemble the Watcher's mark. You'll also see this triangular shape recurring throughout history, even in modern times. Many people wonder why this symbol is used and why it matches this ancient symbol almost perfectly. Governments allegedly know about the Watchers, and they've even tried to cover it up through black projects throughout the years. But the evidence keeps surfacing. The Watchers leave clues, always just out of reach. And that symbol? It's their signature, or perhaps their invitation. Part 3 is about what happens when you find that symbol, or when it finds you. Drop an I if you've seen this before in your dreams, for entertainment purposes only.
Fortunately, I couldn't find part 3 on his channel. Maybe it's there, I just didn't see it at the time. But if you are interested, I will get part 3 and whatever else when I see it. So if it's not on this video, it'll be on the next video. So I'm sorry about that. When it does come to dreams, I've had dreams like that quite frequently. When I'm in a dream, and I've had dreams, I wake up, I'm in the same place, which is my bedroom or wherever I fall asleep at, and something is off. But you know what else? I would say a few times before I go to sleep, sometimes it does. It's very uncomfortable to talk about. It felt like something really is watching. And you just feel it. And for me personally, when I do feel like somebody watching me, it's usually my left ear. Start to hear static. And no, I don't have anything wrong with my ears. It's like the frequency or something changes. I know that sounds really crazy to talk about. I usually don't talk about these things out loud. Ever, I don't even talk to anyone about these things. But yeah, I would say it's like a 30% chance that happens to me every time before I go to sleep. Well, sometimes in general, I feel that frequency change. Let me know in the comments if you experience anything like that or anything crazier. Please let me know.
Okay, then this is the meat right here that washed up ashore. As you can see, the brand is called Perdix and it is manufactured out of Brazil. There go your inspection stamp right there from Brazil, showing you that I guess it's supposedly already been inspected or whatever. It was headed to the Cayman Islands, but the container fell off the ship or whatever and magically floated to Jamaica. I'm just talking about this again is because I still find something weird and something suspicious about this, and they warning the people to not consume this meat, but people are still consuming it and looting and taking some home, and people have reported that they don't feel sick or anything, so hopefully it's not contaminated and everybody be fine and this doesn't turn into the next zombie apocalypse and people just start running around ripping each other's face off, because that's the last thing we need right now in 2020. People from Jamaica commenting on my last video where I talked about it, but on this video, I want to hear in the comments of anyone who has consumed this meat. If you've cooked it at your own house, maybe went somewhere and purchased some, like, how are you feeling? Are you feeling fine? Did it smell funny? Did it taste funny? Like, somebody let me know in the comments, and I hope all is well over there in Jamaica. Y'all stay safe, stay prayed up. Love y'all. Peace!
She was sleeping in the woods alone with 2 dogs in Ohio, and immediately after setting up camp, one of the dogs stared at something for 15 minutes without reacting to her commands. And since the area isn't completely isolated, she didn't care and thought it was probably a hiker, but it turned out to be a calm moment foreshadowing what happened later that night, and she caught it all on camera. After putting her dogs inside the tent, she went out by herself in the direction Sumara was looking at to investigate.
Sounds weird right here. I don't feel right, man. I don't feel good at all. Okay. Hi, my name's Dee. I'm not here to hurt anybody. I just like to get nature at night. I'm losing it. I'm scared. I've got myself freaked. Hi.
After seeing the bat, she decided to come back to her camp and read scary stories to her viewers when she started hearing strange noises outside her tent.
And I was Stop. Hey! Woo!
After these noises, one of her dogs named Mia started shaking and nervously licking, which is a sign of distress. And sadly, it wasn't the end of horror experiences for them that night.
Get away from me. If you're near my tent, please leave. Stop, please. Hello?
She tried to see it through the mesh, but didn't notice anything, so she decided to leave. And while she was packing her stuff, she saw a man driving by who could have called.
The name of the channel on YouTube, if you're interested, I believe it's called The Dark Adventures. I'm pretty sure it's something like that. If you're interested in her type of content, I highly suggest you check it out. She does a lot of overnight camping, and she does I believe sometimes she do reaction videos on scary videos. So I think her content's very interesting. I personally wouldn't want to go out and camping at night. I'm afraid of the woods as it is, personally. I don't like the idea of being in an open, vulnerable position. So I couldn't imagine at night and then feeling like something watching you.
story. I would love to hear a cryptid story.
The more research I do, the more identical they are. So again, we have 2 hunters who are out in South Carolina. These are avid woodsmen. They're camping, they're sitting at the fire, and as they're winding down, they begin to hear what sounds like drumming. Something's like with force hitting something. They start to get up, and before they see anything, like every other story, they smell something. Just Bigfoot. It's like swamp and rotting flesh. They use the descriptor copper, kind of like a blood-like copper-like smell. They put a flashlight up and immediately glowing eyes, tall humanoid creature, long arms to the ground, and they freeze in fear. And the thing like postures up, dude pulls his gun, fires a shot, hits it, and it lets out the loudest roar they've ever heard. After getting hit, it doesn't stop. It keeps running at them, and they get in the truck, and the proof that they have is the tailgate of this truck has claw marks through the back of it, but instead of just being like punched, it looks like tinfoil that's been peeled back.
Oh my gosh.
But this thing with glowing red eyes and the brake lights chased them for a quarter mile before giving up the pursuit. Quarter mile, this thing's roaring and running them down a hill. They've never gone back to the woods. This was in 1987. They've never been back.
I mean, that's like the Mothman, just like it chasing them for miles.
In that region of South Carolina, there's like legends of a lizard man, and it fits exactly with other stories where people have reported similar things. It's terrifying, dude.
Cave systems in the mountains. I guarantee that's where they're all coming from.
The following footage is phenomenal. This is crazy, and it is caught completely unexpectedly. This comes from a woman who was outside just taking a quick break when she films something absolutely paranormal, what appears to be a ghost jumping on the trampoline. But it gets even crazier. Towards the end, it's almost like you can see it leave. Take a look at this footage. Comment below, tell me what you think.
So I'm just sitting here doing my nails outside in this lovely day, and I hear something, and you just have to see this. See that? Watch. Look. Look. There's somebody in the trampoline, but there's not somebody in the trampoline. There's a fucking shadow. But there's nothing. Oh my god. There's a fucking shadow.
At least the ghost is having fun. That's the only thing I can think about that clip. It's very unusual.
500-year-old girl who is coming back to life. Stick with me because you're in for a wild ride, as you can see here. I did a video on this a long time ago, but for some reason it's circulating round again right now, freaking people out online and on social media, so here we go. So this mummy right here is known as La Doncella, or the Children of the Lulacana. These different mummies here are all part of the same family, the Children of the Lulacanu, where this group of mummies were found preserved at the top of the Lulacanu volcano. But just wait, because it's crazy. This is the Lulacano volcano, which they were found right at the summit of this. And as you can imagine, it's pretty high up and pretty damn cold. The first crazy part is that look how realistic she looks right now, and she's over 500 years old. But with all of these people being believed to have lived in the 14 and 1500s, and it's also believed they were and sacrificed when they were only around 13 years old. Then buried and left at the top of this. Now where it gets even more interesting, of course, the archaeologists found these preserved bodies with all the body features and everything still being there after 500 years. Normally you'd be gone, mate. But this is how you might imagine someone who had passed away about 20-30 years ago at tops. But by far the craziest bit out of all of this, I know you're waiting for it, she's coming back to life. Essentially, what happened is the scientists who were doing the tests when they got these preserved mummies obviously wanted to figure out how the hell is this possible. Of course, from being at the altitude and those sort of temperatures, it froze her body and her insides. So they found her organs perfectly intact, healthier than probably some of you, and even frozen blood still in her body and in her veins. So she was basically the first person to get cryogenically frozen. Now, no, she's not necessarily coming back to life, just going to get up and start walking again. All of these mummies are now in a museum. But the point of what people have been saying is she could technically come back to life. I actually saw a few scientists have said that it could potentially be possible, but it's not exactly going to be the easiest thing in the world, so I highly doubt it.
Talk about one of the most terrifying legends from Mexico, La Pascualita mannequin. Now, before I show you the creepy videos of this mannequin, let me break down the story a little bit. It was March 25th, 1930, when Pascuala Esparza's bridal shop in Chihuahua, Mexico, placed a very realistic looking mannequin on its storefront. Now, people immediately noticed that it looked a little too eerily familiar to the shop owner's daughter, who had just passed away from a scorpion bite on her wedding day. Now, coupled with how much it looked like her, how it was wearing a wedding dress, and how it had realistic looking set of hands and nails and veins, people started to speculate that the shop owner went crazy after his daughter's unaliving, wanted to keep her memory alive, and decided to embalm her body and prop her up for everyone to see her beauty and commemorate her. According to legend, obviously. Then it would be in the early 2000s that people would be more horrified of her because of this video. Now, I'm going to show you the video, but you need to look very close because it's one of those potato quality videos. It was recorded like in the early 2000s, okay? But in the video, you see La Pascualita smile. And guys, this was before filters, okay? Just take that in mind, okay? Okay, so I'm going to show you the video. Here it is. Now, our favorite Mexican paranormal TV show, Extra Normal, went to Chihuahua to investigate and basically asked the citizens if they have seen anything weird with La Pascualita. And the citizens in Chihuahua claim that sometimes they don't see the mannequin there, or that it would be moved from its position, and sometimes they apparently even see a woman in a wedding dress walking around the streets in the middle of the night, while La Pascualita is not in the front of the store. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this story is a little bit heartwarming, because it's kind of like a tragic story. And if it is true that this is not a mannequin, it's actually a body, and the dad felt so heartbroken that he wanted to show off his daughter's beauty in what could have been basically a bride, it's a little bit heartwarming. But I'm gonna be honest, if I was her, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. But what do you guys think? Legend or hoax? Let me know.
I think that it's probably just a legend, but could you imagine walking home at night and seeing that mannequin walking around the streets when earlier that day before you went to work, it was inside of a store? Man, that would terrify me. I don't think I would even be in that city anymore. But I feel sorry for the father though, regardless. So, but that's all the videos I have today. I hope you have an excellent day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.